Hello, everyone. My name is Zachary Emmel, and for this week's presentation, I've decided to cover the global market entry of Apple and their new Apple AI software. I chose this topic for a couple different reasons, but primarily because when we learn about global market expansion and global market entry, we have very specific, very curated cases, very similar to our bicycle case study. And what I think is unique about this is that Apple is already a very global company. It's all over the world already. And something else that I think is really unique is that when we do learn about market expansion, it's typically done with a hardware, not a software. So I think that this is unique in kind of both of those aspects, and really piqued my interest for this week's discussion topic. Just to make sure everyone's on the same page, what is Apple AI? Well, Apple AI is their new software that they've just announced. They did this by partnering with the OpenAI company, which is the creators of the Chat GPT chatbot. It's a generative AI. If you haven't heard about it, I'm not quite sure how yet, but it is, and essentially it's an AI that studies human language and will help predict and create how to write. It learns, what a human would say or would want to say, and it can generate that on its own now. Something that's unique about this Apple AI and kind of the twist that they're putting on the licensed product here is that they're more focused on a privacy factor here. It's going to be deeply integrated with the operating system software. So those of you who do have an iPhone or an iPad or a Mac, you know that Apple pushes out incredibly polished and intuitive products. So I expect that the OpenAI partnership with Apple is going to be a very polished product. And finally, this is going to be something that launches sometime this year or this fall, somewhere around that September, kind of October area. So keep an eye out for it. Moving into the market entry strategy here. So Apple has opted for a moderate control strategy, again, mostly being driven by the fact that they're licensing the OpenAI software here. So neither single company has full control here. They both have a good deal of control, but nobody is calling all the shots. With this launch, it is going to be a global launch. So when they flip the switch, flip the light switch of it, everyone in the world will have it. They're not doing a controlled rollout of country by country, not at least fully. They are doing that via some public beta testing, but we'll get into that in a minute. When it launches, it'll be available everywhere that has an iPhone. I like this because I mentioned the light switch analogy because it's either on or it's off, and that's something I think is really unique about software. Hardware we'll sell 10 of them and see how it does, but software you have a substantially more difficult time limiting who has access to that when rolling it out. There are possibilities. Like I said, they are doing this in a way with a public beta test, which is a really smart idea. It allows them to polish their product while also getting market feedback and sentiment and data on the application and how it's received by the public and who's interested in it. And again, what I think is really brilliant about this global entry strategy here is, again, they're leveraging Chat GPT in their OpenAI franchise, or not franchise, pardon me, their OpenAI partnership. This is really brilliant in my opinion because it's saving Apple a lot of time in development of their own product and a lot of time on the regulatory, the safety, the government regulations around AI. Being a new kind of phenomenon in the world, it is very quickly changing that landscape, and the regulations around it are constantly changing. So Apple is saving a lot of time and resources by saying, hey, we'll pay for your product, but with that, you do a lot of the research. OpenAI and Chat GPT has been in the market for about 12 to 18 months now. So they have phenomenal learnings that Apple is able to leverage and save time on. So in terms of difficulties that they're dealing with, they really aren't facing a whole lot of difficulties that you would typically see in a product launch. They have a lot of data and a lot of insight on culture, laws, regulations. So overall, it's going quite smoothly. And of course, with that smooth launch, you're going to see real world impact. So even though this isn't fully, out and released to the public yet, the Apple stock surged a whopping 7% after this AI announcement. And those of you who know stock know that Apple is one of the highest valued companies. So 7% is a massive jump. With this, Apple will also have some upside for some install base of their phones and other products. Other software companies and other hardware companies, like Microsoft and especially Samsung, have been in the AI space for some time. So they'll probably be able to pull some market from those companies just in terms of, hey, they have AI, we have better AI, or they have AI and so do we. So They're leveling the playing field or even enhancing their products a little bit. And again, with that additional functionality and capability, you'll really see a lot more value driven, not just at the company level of Apple, but at the individual consumer level as well. And finally, just to keep it around that 5-minute timestamp, here's the articles I used this week. I did cover quite a few, and there's a bunch of articles out there right now on this, so I highly encourage everyone to study a little bit on their own. And I very much look forward to your kind of constructive criticism and thoughts on this. Thank you.